Hello, I'm Sarah.
And I'm Joleen.
Joleen is here with me, you guys. Not only is Joleen here with me, but we're talking about Big Brother Australia.
Who are we?
Macaroni. This is different. This is new. This is exciting. I love it. Let me just say, but first, if you're new to this channel, please click subscribe and give this video a thumbs up. And you can join Nerdtainment on Patreon if you so desire. We are watching Heroes versus Villains over there. Survivor, whole different show. It's a good one, right?
I love Heroes versus Villains. Like I just watched it for the first time, and then I would like rewatch episodes. I liked it so much in the past year. No, last year. Sorry.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's really interesting to watch and like pair with now that we've seen 40 because similarities yet so very different so long ago.
Yes.
Anyway, back to Big Brother Australia. This is my first time watching Big Brother Australia. Is it yours?
Yes, this is the first time. I've watched clips before, but I watched BB UK. I just really never got into Australia. People told me I should. I fell into a YouTube hole where I saw they had like an abandoned house that they used to use for BB Australia, and then they canceled it for a little bit.
Yeah.
And so you can go on YouTube and they have pictures and video of this abandoned Big Brother house, which is so like it looks apocalyptic. Like it's amazing. I don't know what they did with it now, but it was cool.
Yeah. So it was canceled and it's been off the air for like years. It's been off for a while. I don't know how many exactly, but they have come back, revamped, like totally, to me, like very much upgraded. Super modern, super cool. What do you think? What are your first impressions?
This house is amazing. I love how BB Can and also BB Australia have a separate room where they go and nominate, or well, not nominate, but they go and have their ceremony. I think that's something that BBUS should incorporate. BB Cans was the best though, because they had this past season, they had everybody's head.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, you're on the chopping block, so it makes sense. But the Australia house, their pool is next level. It's so cool.
It is. And I also love that they have a whole basement for comps. They've got so many extra rooms that there's no lockdown. There's no concern about like, oh, we have to build this comp, so now you can't go outside for like 15 hours or whatever.
Exactly. That is amazing, because that's one thing that's frustrating with BBUS is a lot of times the feeds will go down too, because they're doing construction out in the backyard and they do a great job, but it sucks for live feeders, you know. Now,
speaking of feeds, there's no feeds on this because it's previously shot. Like these people are done, not in the house anymore. How do you feel about that?
You know, I'm okay with it. I think I'm so desperate for some Big Brother that I love Australians, even though I've never been to Australia.
Oh no, we lost your audio. Oh, say that again.
Can you hear me now?
I didn't hear you. Yeah.
Okay. No, I said I love Australians, even though I've never been to Australia, because every comedy show I have, the Australians in the audience are always the best, with the best sense of humor.
Oh, interesting.
I don't know if
I love that
country, because I've only met so many Australians, but they're amazing. So I'm okay with this concept.
Yeah, I am too. Like I've seen some hate online of like not even worth my time if there's no feeds, and I'm like, feeds are kind of like icing on the cake, but I still like the game of Big Brother. So if I don't have feeds, it's not a deal breaker to me. Like I'm still on board.
Yes, and these people are, I mean, so far I've really liked the competitions too. And maybe it's because I am so starved for BB ever since we got rid of Celebrity Big Brother in the US and we cut Canada short, that I'll take anything. Even if they throw people in an abandoned warehouse and they stand on a board, I'm watching it, you know?
Which might be what we have this summer for BB22. Might be very basic.
I'll take anything.
Who knows?
I don't care.
Yeah. How about the cast? Is there anything you're loving on the cast or hating?
Okay, so I'm actually loving Angela. This personality is amazing for Big Brother. At first I was like, okay, all right. And then when she started talking about her love of caffeine and tea and crying over food, that's the kind of Big Brother player I would be. So I love her. I'm kind of cheating. I'm looking at my list here because I don't know
Well,
everyone's.
yeah, it's really hard to know their names.
Super hard. I also like the little one. She's like 19 and 5. I call her the 5-footer.
Sarah.
She's
Her name is Sarah.
Well, I can only know. I have a sister-in-law, Sarah, and you, Sarah, and that's all I can.
It's too many.
Right. Oh, and Garth. Garth, I'm obsessed with Garth. I'm obsessed. I want to marry him. I love him.
Garth. Oh, okay, interesting.
I love him.
I have high hopes for him as a player. Like, he seems smart and he's entertaining. Yeah, Angela grew on me because she kept saying, like, I don't want to work hard. And, like, that's a red flag to me in a Big Brother player. Like, you got to work, girl. If you're in this house, you got to work. But she's just too lovely. Like,
she's too lovely, and she's there for entertainment value. They cast her for the audience, not necessarily for the game. She's a joy.
She is. I mean, the edits they're doing with her tea obsession are fantastic. It's great. Yeah, I'm loving her. I really loved Kieran from the get-go, and I'm not sure how his arc is going to go, but
poor Kieran,
he's got my heart. Yeah.
Oh, this poor guy, he just keeps getting put up. And, you know, and the last competition, the last episode, I know we'll break it down, but I felt for him so much because I would hate any competitions in Big Brother where you're touching or holding hands because I'm a sweaty person. And so is Kieran. Yeah. So people are always like, why are you so sweaty? I'm like, don't touch me then. I never asked
Get
you
up
to touch
off
me.
me. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. Before we start diving into episodes, one other thing I love about this format is Big Brother, like the voice, the character of Big Brother. Yes, I didn't know how much I needed that, and I love every second of it.
We need to incorporate that into US because I feel like UK had that too. They had it less interaction with the house guests. I mean, no, they did, but I feel like the Australian one is kind of snarky, and I love it. And we don't have any kind of snark in our American Big Brother, and I hate that because the Circle had it, which was amazing. All the other countries seem to have it. I don't know. I don't think Canada does, but Canadians, you know, they're like us.
Yeah. The voice is great. The way that they like I'm going to call him a he because it kind of sounds like he, how he pokes fun at them. Yeah. I love it. I also agree. Ian is adorable. I love Ian. I mean, him in that hat and his fossils. Come on.
Oh, and who didn't want to hear about fossils? Who was it that was like, was it Angela? She was like, this is boring. And I'm like, Angela.
Yeah, probably.
My grandpa was always telling me to join a rock and mineral club. So I like have a secret soft spot for fossil people. But he's too cute. And he's like from the Australian outback or something and wants friends. And I want to be his friend. Yeah.
Like, I don't understand half the stuff they're talking about, like where they're from. I mean, I just love that they're housemates. They're not even house guests. Like, they're housemates and they're tradies. And like, I don't know what you're saying, but it's all adorable. And I love it.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
Okay. Episode 1. We have 12 house guests enter the house. One at a time. Our adorable Kieran comes in first. And he is given a mission. He has to meet every single person who comes in with a high five. He has to give them a nickname and a massage and then a secret handshake. And I'm immediately like, oh gosh, this is not, how's this going to go well?
Well, and I'm so interested why they picked Kieran, because going into a game like Big Brother, I feel like they should have given that to more of like a jockey type, like the more like popular, traditionally popular type, because I feel like Kieran's already going in with kind of a disadvantage, like a target on his back, because when we see like super fans or nerds or just regular people like us, you know, they're treated differently. They should have given it to one of the model dudes, should have had to do it. So poor Kieran, who already appears to be kind of awkward, has to be like, and then how creepy. Massages. No.
Right. Especially to these girls who are walking in for the first time. Luckily, I thought he did okay with it, where he was just like, oh, okay, cool. And then like stepped off. But you could be like, dude, I do not know you. Do not touch me. Get off of me.
So
yeah, weird. I feel like maybe they gave it to him because he is adorable and maybe he's going to be a fan favorite type. But yeah, it's basically like Big Brother putting a target on his back.
Yeah.
But he has to do it to get the bedrooms to open up. Like, otherwise they're threatening that they won't have bedrooms or something. So like, he's got to try. Luckily Big Brother does like announce the whole thing and say, Kieran, you did a good job. So no one is left with like, boy, Kieran's a weirdo. Like, let's get him out immediately. Okay, nomination challenge. Okay, this is another thing I love about this format is that once we start, there's a lot of like, I don't know, but there's like getting to know people in cute little segments. But once we hit that nomination challenge, it's like on. We go back to back to back. And I love the pace. And I love that they don't have 3 days to mull over who they're going to evict.
Right. That's so annoying.
Right? It is.
When
Okay,
you don't
good.
see it, when you see it done the other way, you realize how much more efficient and how that your first thought affects the game. And then it's even more fun to watch people like doubt themselves. Like, did I nominate the right people? Rather than giving all that time. And I know for BBUS, it's like, so we can campaign. But nowadays we've had so many seasons where people like shut people out of the HOH. So there's no point. You pretty much already know who you're going to put up. So this way,
and you can still campaign. I mean, we can talk about this as everything unfolds because campaigning has a different meaning in this house. But like you can still campaign if you have 3 hours. Like just giving yourself 3 days to campaign is just can be excessive, but like you can still get game done in just a few hours, right? Okay, so our first challenge, this is when we learn that we go down to a basement, a whole nother room. And of course it's huge and it's like all done up and they've got these like crazy apparatus where you have to like strap yourself in. These challenges are straight up grueling. They're hardcore. So they have to swing their body back and forth and put balls up on this top row.
That was a really hard challenge because, like they explained, the outside ones are going to be the easiest, but to get that middle one without knocking it over.
Yes. And we eventually see how hard that really is.
Yeah, it's super hard. Angela could not gain her momentum at all. And she was just like, F this, I want some tea. When do I get tea? And I felt it. I like her because she is true to who she is, but I don't feel like she brings other people down with negativity. She just is like, this is what I don't like. This is what I need. And she's just kind of authentically herself. And I like those kind of people for entertainment value. And also maybe even strategically because you're never going to think of her as a threat.
Yeah, very, very possible. Yeah, she's like, I can't get anywhere. We do see Laura and Talia are the ones who are like getting their balls on there first. And then it really comes down to the two of them. And they are just like trying to get that last ball up there. And ultimately, Talia wins. And Big Brother's like, great, Talia, immediately to the DR. And I'm like, what is this pace? Oh my gosh, she doesn't get to talk to anyone. She flies to the DR and basically she talks it out with Big Brother.
Yes, the amount, like you were saying earlier, that Big Brother's actually involved and shows you how involved they are is great. I think US, we know that the producers are involved. And people get mad about that, but I think we would feel better if it was under the guise of a Big Brother voice or character, you know?
Right, because someone does have to ask you, like, how are you feeling about this person? Who are you worried about? Like, that's just, no one walks into a room and is like, let me give you all the info.
Exactly.
Just
and it feels like you're more part of the game when you hear Big Brother actually talking. That's why I loved UK so much, because UK has a very similar style. And even their DRs are just, even their chairs are always like very futuristic and cool, where the US DR is like, it's kind of boring.
Yeah. Yes.
There's not much. It's like a bench, or I don't even really know.
Yeah. It's like a little chair bench thingy. Yeah. Okay. So we hear Talia say Laura first right away. Then she says Kieran. And then we don't hear the third person. She comes out and we move into a gathering of everyone into just like the den area, I think it is, for BB to announce the 3 nominees, which is kind of interesting. There's no big ceremony like US likes to do. Everyone is just sitting around and the person, because it's not an HOH, but the person, the nominator, is just sitting there amongst everyone. And then the BB says Laura, Kieran, and Zoe.
And I love it because it's so awkward because we've seen now in these episodes, the person who just nominated someone will go sit because that's the only seat that's there next to that other person. Be like, hi, it's okay, it's okay. And then it's like, they're like, it's not okay, it's you. I just nominated you. You're about to find out. So I think it adds a lot to the game and just the awkwardness that you should kind of feel having to nominate people right in front of them. But having someone else say it is almost worse than you saying it.
Right. Now, what are you thinking about these noms at this point? Do you even remember who these people are?
Who's up? Who they nominated?
Yeah, Laura, Kieran, and Zoe.
You know, I think Laura kind of put a target on her back with her being a little brash to the people, like saying everyone needs to do their own dishes. Like, yes, we get it. The Big Brother house, there's probably a bunch of pigs that live there. But you really kind of want to keep that under wraps for a while. If this is the first couple days and you're already that mad over dishes, you're not going to last long. So I feel like Laura went into the game. She's like, I'm a feminist, I'm a vegan, I'm this. All those things are great. But you have to remember that you're going to be in a house with people who might not be all those things. So you might want to just kind of let that stuff out gradually because it is a social game and people might, which they did think, Laura seemed, you know, not as friendly. And the first vote a lot of times is about that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I loved Laura's vibe. I mean, I'm all about the feminist and the vegan and like, I get it. And she's like, I'm going to be me and I'm not going to sugarcoat it. And then I'm like, but wait, record scratch, you're going into a reality show. You have to sugarcoat it. Like, that's just how you like, you're soft at first. And then you like,
well, and especially since you're such a good competitor, you were so close to Talia.
Yes.
You really need to suck it up in that moment and be like, great job, Talia. Man, I'm so glad two strong women got to the end together in that competition. If I didn't win, I'm glad it was you. Like, kiss ass in that moment, you know,
right?
To save yourself.
And then, of course, I'm sad Kieran's up there.
But he was playing a little. Well, I guess he was playing hard after he was nominated. Before, he wasn't playing too hard. Well,
no. I think they were just, you know, he's a bit nerdy and a bit weird, and he massaged everyone as they walked in. So, you know, they were like, sure, put Kieran up. But so now, so now we see that people are scared of Laura, and Kieran goes into like overdrive. He's like, let me work something, which I love it. I love it. You're scrappy. You want to turn this person against this person and go, go, go. But of course, it doesn't go well. People are like, what are you doing, buddy? And so he gets called out immediately. And then basically we learn that Zoe's everyone's friend and she's not going anywhere.
Yeah. Exactly. Okay. Zoe is doing it the way I wish Laura would have done it, because it would have been so great to have Laura on going forward. Because like you said, she is all that good stuff we want to see on TV. But unfortunately, when you're up against Talia, who I'm not the biggest fan of so far, you have to, I mean, Talia's coming off very mean girly. So, yeah, it was a rough situation for her, but I thought for sure Kieran had just sank his own ship. I really thought. But no, I think they, you know, saw Laura as more of a threat. And that's what Kieran should have done. He should have taken a breath, relaxed, and been like, here's the deal, you guys. She's way more of a threat than me. You guys make your own decisions, blah, blah, blah. But I want to work with you guys, you know, all that stuff. Rather than, he was counting out loud, Sarah. He was like 5, 6.
Oh, 7. I know, right? Yeah. Hi, Miranda. Thank you for joining us.
Hi, Miranda.
So, yeah, at this point, you're like, oh, poor Kieran. But people are actually legitimately worried about Laura. So now we get to go into this cool room and Sonia shows up.
Do you love Sonia?
I love Sonia.
Yes.
Oh, my gosh. She's so adorable. She was hugging them as they entered the house, which I was like, Julie Chen would never. No. She's like 6 feet away always.
Julie's over it. She's like, give me the paycheck. I'm going home.
Sonia is adorable. She seems to care. And she really talks to people in this time. And she's talking to people and she's pulling out information. And she kind of calls it out and like makes people say stuff, which is great.
Yes.
It's not just like, how was your week in the Big Brother house?
It feels like she's an actual fan of the show. That was very similar to Emma, who was the host of BBUK. She was just so jovial and friendly almost with them. She did hold their feet to the fire and, you know, could be really snarky with players she didn't like, because it was almost like she was a fan. So some BBUK fans had problems with Emma maybe showing a little preferential treatment in her interviews and stuff. But I mean, she was just kind of like one of us, where I feel like Julie is at a point now where they give her notes, she reads her notes, and then she's like, deuces, I'm done.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. We've been there live. We saw how she walks on stage, walks off, walks on.
She's like, one picture, I'm gone.
Yeah. Okay, we see that we see just a few of the votes as they all like walk into evict. Laura votes for Kieran. Alan is saying that Kieran's going to go home, but we don't hear his vote. Angela votes for Laura. Marissa votes for Zoe. So basically we have a vote for everybody. Then they come out. Sonia says Zoe has 3 votes, Kieran has 2 votes, and Laura has 6 votes. So it's not a landslide. It's not like a huge majority, but Laura obviously was the threat and they took her out.
Yeah, I think Kieran, obviously was very surprised. I was surprised
that
he got the least amount of votes. So barely anyone voted for him. Like more people voted for Zoe, and everyone was like, "I love Zoe." So Kieran is safe. Social threat,
Yeah, but he's seeing the world differently. He's a nervous wreck, and he's seeing the world differently. Okay, that's episode 1. Let's move on to episode 2. Yes. This is day 4, and this is when we see 4 new people sneaking in at in the middle of the night. This BB is so sneaky. They're really mess with these people.
Yeah, I feel like this is overseas BB. This is how you'd see in UK. The US, we are way too nice to these people. We let them slop. We're like, oh, remember our old BB? We used to have food comps, and then we got too weak, and people are like, wait a minute, I got this, I can't eat that. And I get it. If you have a food allergy, I'm not making fun of that. But what we saw last year, where they just all of a sudden just get rid of slop, that should be a prerequisite when you're interviewed to be on the show. Can you do this? Make sure you can get a doctor's note that says you can do this stuff, because this makes it so much more interesting, especially when they have to do these food comps and they have to live on rations, and you have to go without your comfort foods and your comfort things like tea and stuff.
They don't even have coffee. No one can live without coffee. Angela's obsession with tea is adorable. She has 10 cups a day. That's insane. But we get it. We all drink coffee. We have to have caffeine. What are you talking about? The food rations are crazy. They have crackers and tuna. It's so basic. They don't even have coffee and tea. I'm in shock. US would never. They could never.
They're
like, oh, you want more watermelon? Here's a whole truckload.
Seriously, we literally give them watermelon to take to bed with them. It's ridiculous what our Big Brother has turned into when you watch old episodes of UK, or even old episodes of BBUS, or now BB Australia, where it's they're supposed to do things that mess with you, whether it be your sleep schedule, your food, all that. It's not supposed to be this comfortable vacation. You are playing a competitive social game.
Right. And it's turned into summer camp in the US.
It has.
For sure.
It literally was a camp theme last year.
Right. They were like, we're not kidding.
Camp.
Okay, so we've got 4 people standing in the hallway, pitch black, and BB's over the speakers being like, okay, y'all got to leave your stuff where it is. Get whatever out. They have 10 seconds to get whatever you need for the night, because you have to now find a bed and go to sleep without anybody noticing you're there. If you can do that and no one finds you till the next day, you get a Sunday roast, which, Joleen, what the heck's a Sunday roast?
I know what a Sunday roast is, because it's very Midwestern, that you'd have a Sunday roast where you have your meal. You have an actual roast, which is meat and vegetables around it and potatoes and shit. I don't cook, but I ate it. It was very good. But it's a big Sunday dinner, and you have a roast. Your mom's making a roast, or maybe your dad. In my case, it was my mom. You get some carrots in there. Yeah.
We might have had a weekend barbecue, but I didn't know. I was like, that sounds very British to me. I was like, I don't get a Sunday roast, but it sounds lovely. And I know how guests are going to want it. So we see them like try to get ready for bed. They're like, maybe don't flush. They're like, don't know what to do. Dan, who was it? Chad, whoever was like touching beds. Of course, every bed is taken. There's someone in every bed. So I was like, how is this going to go down? Luckily, before they got caught, they find a whole second bedroom. Again, how many rooms in this house? So many rooms.
And how did they find that? They just had to go around in the dark. There were so many chances for them to get caught. Yeah. And lose a challenge and only grab a couple things. And this is your first impression. I mean, it's crazy. I loved it.
Yeah, somehow they were probably directed to go to the opposite side of the house because it was a whole different room for that bedroom. But they find a second bedroom. They all have their own beds. They get to sleep. The next day, they wake up, they find them, and they're so excited that they won a Sunday roast with all the trimmings, whatever the heck that is. Yeah. Now it starts snowing. Again, BBUS would never. It's snowing.
I loved it. The production
I don't mean for this to sound like I am hating on BBUS because I still love it, but
of course we love it. But the things we love, we want them to be the best they can be, and BBUS has a lot of upgrades it could make to get back on the level that it should be. But yeah, when you see the production value of BB Can too, you're like, where is our money? Like, how can Survivor be so amazing and Big Brother's just like, wah,
Yeah, somebody is getting all of that money in their paycheck, and that's that. Okay, so this nomination challenge is outside, and they all have these like massive ice blocks, and there's a flag frozen in the middle of an ice block.
I know.
They have to get it out.
I remember there was a competition like this back. There was some kind of ice melting competition in BBUS years ago. I don't know which one it was, but I remember them using their butts, and they were like in bikinis, and they had to melt the ice. It was very like mid 2000s. Maybe someone in the chat, but yeah. So I liked this challenge. I thought this was amazing. I also liked it because there is a big age diversity on this show, which I like.
Yes,
and by big I mean not everyone is 20 in their 20s, and then you have one 30 something and one poor 50-year-old who's just being left out. We have multiple people, and I feel like a challenge like this, you don't have to be super fit and young. It gives an equal opportunity for everybody playing.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of endurance because it takes hours. Like, you just have to keep at it. But yeah, like you can come up with different strategies, and people do. We see high heels come out to scrape. Dan tries to pee on it, but he has stage fright. He cannot do it. I mean, everyone is like, some people are like hugging it and like trying to rub their whole body. Some just hands. Like, you can do all sorts of things, but it's grueling. It's like difficult, and I love that part. I'm just like, oh my gosh, you're torturing these people, and it's amazing.
Sarah, that's torture.
I love it. I love the torture. I love messing with these housemates, not house guests. At one point, Big Brother calls Alan into the diary room and gives him a cup of tea.
Oh man, I was like, Angela's going to freak out.
Because anyone could have run in, and Angela did want to run in, and Alan cut her off. And then he came out and he rubbed it in her face. And I thought at this point, Alan, you are not going to last in this house.
And I was surprised maybe Big Brother made him do that. But because he is such a gamer and he's always looking strategically, which people were starting to pick up on, especially Garth. That's why I liked him, because right when he came in the house, he could tell that Alan was trying to game all of them. And Garth is like, oh no, I see you. And I love a player like that, because Alan was someone who was playing just as hard as Kieran. He just wasn't playing as awkwardly, but he's very pushy, very pushy. So when he came out with that tea, I'm like, what?
Yeah, no, I was like, you're just rubbing salt in her wound right now. I would have thrown that cup in his face if I were her. Thank you, Faith, for the super chat, and happy birthday, Ben. I think Ben, you turned 14 probably. think so. Happy birthday. Okay, side note, Joleen, I read that Garth and Alan were in the same group interview. And he witnessed, so just like we see like Sarah explaining about Hannah because they were in the group interview together, but Garth saw Alan be like, I'm going to cut every single one of them behind their back. I just stab. So in the interview, he was like revealing his game plan and Garth saw it. So that kind of helped the whole situation.
That makes more sense because I was like, dang, Garth is really seeing what the audience is seeing. But this makes a little more sense and is so interesting what you said. Like we find out later from Sarah and Hannah that they have seen each other. This is the thing I love about BB Australia so far is it's very transparent. Where BBUS, if the house guest started saying, oh, I met her in audition or I saw her at audition, they'll cut the feeds. We have to pretend like these people never saw each other on the face of the earth. And then all these conspiracy theories come out. And then we find out not only did they see each other at tryouts, but they're friends or they were in pageants together or they, had a baby with the same dude. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's just like,
exactly.
We need a little more transparency with this. And then you'd have less people focus because then you just move on. You go, oh yeah, they go to auditions, they see each other. Sure, that makes sense. And then you move on with your life.
Yeah, and the way that they just like incorporated it into the edit, it just makes it seem like normal. These people go to auditions together. Look, we have it on tape and they get to see how these people really are. Now, Big Brother in the United States, they don't do group interviews. They don't even let you pass each other. So when BBUS people are like, I saw that person at finals or whatever, they like saw them across the room.
Oh, interesting.
They walk you like down a hall and put you in one room just so someone else can walk down the hall. Then they'll bring you out and walk you down. Like they don't want you to cross paths at all. So that might be part of their whole like, shut the feeds down, like pretend it's all magical. I don't know.
Which is so crazy because I get if the point of it is to be like, we don't want any early alliances forming, but then why throw in people who know each other and then never let us know? So that completely contradicts what you're trying to do.
It does. And just announce it as a theme. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Then people would move on with their lives.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So it comes down to, they did this for 2 hours. Then a blizzard comes through and it comes down to Garth and Dan. I do think Talia could touch her flag.
She was doing good. Yeah.
But Garth and Dan were like wiggling it. And now Garth is part of the new group. So, OG people just automatically hate new people. So everyone at this point is like around Dan, like, come on, Dan, you got it, as he's trying to get it out. One person is standing over by Garth as he like pulls it out. And he's like, I got it.
I know. I think it was like Sarah and maybe the other guy that came in, Subong, or I forget his
Chad.
name. But yeah. And Chad too, yeah. So it was like those. I really liked the 4 intruders. They became kind of my favorite. Or were there 5 of them? There were 5. Sorry,
4. No,
there
4.
Were 4.
Yeah.
Okay, so it was Garth. Okay, yeah.
Garth, Chad, Sophie, and Sarah.
Oh yeah, Subong came later. There's so many
He's
people
the second
entering.
one. I know.
The hell. Okay, I really liked those 4. I liked all their energy and stuff, and so. Yeah, I was happy that Garth won. I was like, yes.
Yes, I was very happy just to mix it up because it's just natural that you're like, ooh, they're new people, but it's been like 3 days and like you were new 3 days ago. Like you're
right. Quit and
it's okay.
You call yourself an OG when you got here yesterday. Like it's not OG.
No, calm down. Like I get that that's natural, but get over it. So Garth goes into the DR and he says his noms are gonna be Kieran. I think just because Kieran had already gone up and he had heard, like, he's just on the outs. Angela, our lovely Angela, and Alan.
I love the Alan vote.
Yeah, at this point, Alan is talking about himself in, is it first person or third person?
In the third person.
The third person. When you're like, Alan's going to win, like, I appreciate that you're like in it to win it, Alan, but you cannot call yourself Alan.
Alan's very happy with his game, just so Alan knows.
Alan is 10 steps ahead and he is enjoying the downfall of Kieran this entire time. He's not worried one bit. He's like, I'm not even gonna do anything. Angela's like slightly worried and he's like, girl, stop it. What are you even talking about? Figure it out. And he's like yelling and she's like, shh. And of course, Kieran is just like devastated.
Poor Kieran.
He doesn't know what to do because of his first time. He played too hard, apparently.
Yeah.
So he doesn't want to do it again. But he does do a bit of an apology tour. He kind of like tries to take a calmer tone and is like, look, if I made things awkward, like, I'm sorry. I just kind of want to like clean the slate kind of thing. And it helps. It helps his situation. And Alan is watching him do that, assuming that Kieran is just like digging himself more of a hole.
Again, Alan assuming. Like, that's the problem in his game. He's assuming he's safe. He's assuming he's doing the right thing. He is unable to criticize himself. Most people that speak in the third person that much and speak highly of themselves. The only time I do third person stuff is when I'm making like my edited videos and I'll be like, Joleen, that was dumb. You know, I don't go, Joleen, you're amazing.
Yeah.
And I think I would probably have to seek treatment or something. But yeah, I think Alan, I was like, this guy he's gone. He is gone.
Oh, yeah. And I was honestly hoping he was at this point because I want Kieran and Angela to stay. If those are my three options. But what we do see here is what you talked about a little bit ago, is that Garth is the one telling people, Alan is smart. Alan is playing the game. He is like, you're not seeing what he's doing. He's really planting the seeds in people. And then we actually see Dan regurgitate all of Garth's words in the DR, which I love because that means he's actually kind of a sheep, even though he's like a big tough guy. He just took everything that Garth said and was like, yeah, those are my thoughts.
Dan doesn't strike me as the brightest bulb. He's really good at kicking stuff, obviously. But other than that, and snoring, which I think Dan has a deviated septum, because I had a deviated septum. I had to get surgery. So I understand the plight of the snorer, but there's some unhealthy things going on in his nasal cavities. But Dan's someone that, competition-wise, he might be a threat, but strategically, like you said, you can mold this guy.
Right, exactly. Okay, so we go into the eviction room. Sonia's back, and she kind of like goes in on Alan. And she's like poking the bear, and she's like poking him and keeps going. And this was when I was like, Sonia, I think you have opinions.
She's a fan like us. I love a host like that. Like I said, that's a fan.
Love it. I love it. Kieran, he seemed a bit more comfortable. He was like, yep. He's like, I'm pretty sure I'm about to leave, so I'm just going to enjoy my time. Angela cries. She's emotional, but then she also turns it and is like, and I'm sad for Kieran. I'm sad to see that he's probably going to go and he's back here again, and this is awful. And I was like, girl, you just saved his game, I think.
Yes. And I think maybe she knew that.
Yeah. I wonder.
You know? Because I think she's very, as much as she says, I don't want to work hard and stuff, I guarantee you this is strategy on this woman's part. She is 37. She is smart. She's got money. She can drink tea every day. She knows what she's doing.
She can drink 10 cups of tea every day. We see Alan vote for Kieran and Kieran vote for Alan. But then we come out and Sonia says, Angela got 1 vote. Kieran got 1 vote. Alan, you got 12.
But
and Alan's
like,
face.
Alan's surprised, he said. But Alan is surprised. Alan thought Alan was going to do well. This was not in Alan's plan.
No, Alan was winning. What the heck? He walks out and he says, Alan is salty AF. He said that. And he was completely caught off guard. He was enjoying Kieran's downfall, and that was not what was happening. Look, you can't be that delusional. You have to like actually see what's going on if you're going to succeed in this game.
Exactly. And he was so one track. Like, this is what's going to work. He's one of those players who doesn't pivot, who doesn't know how to go outside of, he's just so, probably his ego is in the way where he's like, no, this is how I said I'm going to win the game and this is what I'm going to do. But not being smart enough and self-aware enough to get in the game and go, oh, that might not be working.
Yeah. And when you see the tides are turning, you have to sort of pivot and try new things. And he just didn't see it and just didn't do it. No. Okay. Well, the next day, day 6, episode 3, BB just has to mess with these people some more. And they drop 4 people out of the sky with a crane. Again, BBAUS would never.
Never. Oh my gosh. They can't even get them to eat slop. They're not going to put them on a crane. I mean, they might get hurt. Their moms might call the show, you know?
Oh my gosh, that would be awful. These 4 people are trapped in a basket being dropped over a roof with a massive crane. So of course the house is freaking out again because gosh, they do not want intruders in this house again. They are over it. And these 4 people are just like slowly being lowered in a crane, which is awkward and weird. And then like BB stops it and is like, so we're not going to let them out quite yet. It's up to you guys. You get $50 towards your food budget for every hour these people sit in this cage.
They literally, in the sun. It's hot.
In this, like, just straight out, like no cover or anything. Just straight out. It goes down interestingly. Like the 4 in the thing are very like they're good sports about it. No one throws a fit. But there's this whole like conversation. Dan takes them in for a group meeting of like, do we just do 1 hour to get like some basic $50 of like basics, or do we keep them in there for a while and get us a full budget? And they're like, in for a while, we want a full budget. We need food, guys. And they like walk out to that cage. They're like, guys, we need food. Sorry.
Yeah. Like we need tea. We need so many things. And
they were like, how long are you thinking? They're like, we need money. We need money. So they like sit around, they chat, they get to know each other. This is when Subong enters, and Subong from the get-go just has to show off how wonderful he is.
I don't know. Subong had to have never seen a Big Brother in his life or any kind of competition show, because to come in and show everyone you can do push-ups on your pinky toes is the dumbest thing you can do, especially being, what is it, like 48? So these young dudes immediately are going to be like, no one can outdo me, you know, and they're going to, I mean, he was literally, every shot of him was like, now I can do it like this. Now I can do it like that. Look at me. And it's like,
he's like, one finger pull-ups.
And it was the dumbest thing. And I wanted to see this guy get further. I'm like, okay, he's in great shape. He's 48. Like, we only see like the 20 somethings. You got a family. Let's do this. And he was really there, I think, auditioning for like Survivor or something. I don't know.
Like Ninja Warrior. Like put him on that show. Yeah. I mean, I loved like his package. He lives in a van. He's all like van life. I'm like, yes, dude, I love it. He is martial arts and like amazing. And like you said, not super young. But he said something that struck me as odd, where he was like, I want them to know how amazing I am so that they'll want to work with me. And I was like, well, that's
not how this works.
That's actually the opposite of what you should be doing. So that's unfortunate. We also see an immediate war brewing between Talia and Hannah, because Talia just can't. Talia's edit hasn't been great, and this just gets worse.
Talia's coming off as the ultimate mean girl. She even pulled this before Hannah came in the house, when she had to put her red swimsuit on with her butt cheeks hanging out to get a little attention. It's like, Talia, I get it. You're young. You're 21, but this isn't the route you want to go. And it didn't help that Sarah had seen Hannah in the auditions. And so Sarah gave that information to Talia, and Talia, she didn't even need that information. She already disliked Hannah because Hannah was talking to Dan the Snorer. And old Snoring McGee was like, do you like football? And she's like, I like football. And he's like, okay, like you, like it didn't take much. And then Talia's just like, what? I had my butt cheeks out for nothing. Like, she was not having it, and this is turning slowly into like the Bad Girls Club, where Talia is putting up far more women and hating on far more women than she is men because she thinks it's The Bachelor.
Yeah, she's super insecure around other girls apparently, and she made a comment like Hannah looks like the type of person who doesn't like pretty girls.
So she was and she was referring to herself. Like,
first off, what does that look like, Joleen? I've literally never seen what that looks like. But yes, Talia is talking about herself.
A girl that it's someone who you're intimidated by her. So you're saying that because that's how you feel. And then you just called yourself attractive. And it makes me so sad. And I get that we see this a lot on reality TV, but I hate this competitive nature, especially of young, powerful women. Talia is a really good at comps and stuff.
Competitor.
And if she would be smart, and we quit creating this, like, not to get too far, but like conditioning girls to be in competition for men since they're tiny, and we teach them to work together. Hannah and Talia and Sarah, they could run this damn house, and Angela.
Absolutely.
And these guys will, did you see Dan? Do you like football? Like, that's how, and I'm not saying all dudes are like that, but Dan dudes are like that. So they could run him, make him do anything they want, but instead they're going to compete for what? For, I like football. Like, what are you competing for?
Yeah. No, you don't want to sleep next to that nose. Like, it's so loud.
That's what I was thinking. That would be the worst showmance, because then you have to be next to him and be like, oh, I'm just going to touch his abs so I can maybe forget about the huge snores coming out. But I wish they would work together. I hated that we were seeing this like stereotypical young women like, you think you're hot? Wait till my butt cheeks come out, you know? And
right. I mean, unfortunately, it just comes down to insecurity. Talia's insecure. Like, she needs the attention on herself, and she felt insecure around another attractive person. And like, that's just sad. I find it so sad when women just are so down on themselves that they end up attacking other people. Anyway, gross. It gets grosser. Okay, so, but what I did like, so they're introducing and talking to each other, and Talia says, hi, I'm Talia. I look like a beauty queen, but I'm not. And I was like, oh. And then Hannah, and then she says, guess my job, which is why are you making people guess that? And Hannah says, stripper, which I was like, yes, thank you.
Well, Talia was so offended, but that wasn't even the first answer they gave. They gave a bunch of like,
she said like
doctor first, fitness.
Yeah.
And then when she was like, no, she's like, fine, I'll guess something way out there. Stripper?
Yeah.
I mean, she wasn't trying to be mean. You just kept saying, there's a million things you could be, honey. Okay, so.
Right, and when you ask someone to guess, you're thinking what crazy big out there thing is it going to be? Doctor, stripper. Like, those are just, but I thought because she started it with I look like a beauty queen and I'm not, made me want to just be like, oh, so you're like, I wanted to be something like, oh, you're a stripper? Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Just to like poke the bear, but you can't do that in a show. So remind me, don't do that if you go on Big Brother.
But Hannah, I think, that she was able to give a little like jab at her, and probably wasn't the best because the way Talia reacted. But Talia was kind of asking for that, like you said.
100.
And when we see Hannah's package, we actually see that she's not this girl that they think off the bat. And she's best friends with her Nana. I mean, yes, I did see the edit where I could see how little Sarah, she's the 5-footer, how, anyone stepping in front of her, she's probably had that her whole life. People don't even look down to see that she's there. But Sarah has such a good heart that she realizes this episode, maybe I misjudged this woman.
Right.
As she's seeing, she's now partnered up with the devil, being Talia, who's like, we're going to get all the girls out and I'm going to be the prettiest, because she's only thinking about herself. She doesn't care about Sarah.
No, not at all. Yeah, I mean, Sarah was like freaking out because in that group setting, if you're at an interview or an audition or whatever, like, you are doing your best to get noticed. Like, so Hannah is being loud. She's like, I'm this amazing and I play football, and like, she's just being out there, and poor little Sarah is intimidated by that, and of course doesn't want to see her in the house. But Hannah obviously like she wasn't a loud, obnoxious person hanging in this crate for 3 hours. So she obviously can tone it down and like listen and be a normal person. But I totally understand why Sarah was like hesitant at first. Okay, so they're in this basket for 3 hours before the house finally is like, all right, it's been long enough. It's hot. Like, they're like, we really have to go to the bathroom, guys. Like, these poor people are just like,
could hold it that long and then be sweating, but they probably just like sweated it out or something. I don't know.
I guess. And they did not complain or like, you know, they weren't rude about it. They weren't like, guys, get us out. They were like, okay. Yeah. So this is Subong, Hannah, and 2 other people that we like don't even meet.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
It was who else? I know.
Yeah, there was another man and another woman, but we literally don't know them.
Who's the woman? I'm every time I look over, I'm looking at my cast list here because I still don't know what's the woman's name. I guess we don't.
Yeah.
Danny is her name. Come here, Tilly. My cat is like, meow, meow, and then my husband's
that was Danny.
teaching a stand-up class in the background, so I'm sorry if there's like background noise. But yeah, they all were so chill and cool about it.
Yeah.
To be in there for 3 hours, I would have been like, get me out of here now.
Yeah. I mean, you have to be cool about it. But yeah, I wanted to be like, oh my God, I'm going to nominate every single one of you.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so this nomination challenge is very interesting because you have to work as pairs, and you as a duo, you're standing on these little stools, and kind of like Survivor, you're gonna go to another stool that's smaller, and then again another stool that's smaller. So they're randomly paired up, and some of these pairs just like had no hope. It was just not gonna happen. Like the ones that were like 2 guys.
Yeah, the 2 guys ones for sure.
Yeah. But Dan was with Zoe, so he does hang on a little bit because at least he's got a small person. But like Shane and Chad are together, and Xavier and Garth are together. And so after the first transition, they just like they can't even like they're just too like
hard.
men.
Too big of people. Yeah.
And then Danny and Casey don't make the first transition. Angela is paired up with Subong, and she is just like. She's in heaven. She's like, yes, I'm going to win something.
I know. She was so and they did decent. They did pretty well.
They did. They made it through the first 2, but then they didn't make that second transition. Hannah, I thought was such a trooper. This is when Hannah won me over because she's paired up with Kieran. And like you said earlier, Kieran's a sweater, a sweaty sweats.
She's so nice to him.
And she was just like hanging on for dear life. She wasn't like, oh, he's sweaty, you know? Yeah. She was like in it. She was like all up on him because she was like trying to win and she was fine about it. And I was like, oh, she's good peeps.
Yeah.
She's all right.
Definitely. I felt so bad, like I said, for Kieran. These competitions are the worst. We saw one in BB Can this past season. It was like their prom one. It was like 80s prom. Yeah. And I think they had to carry things with their mouth together. Like I said, I can't with that kind of long-term holding and touching of strangers or even friends. You know, the only person I long-term hold is my husband. And even I get sweaty doing that. So it's like, I can't. I felt so bad for him. And, you know, Kieran's probably someone, he seems a little, you know, not the most experienced gentleman, probably, you know, more little, I don't want to say innocent because it's not innocent. It's just a little inexperienced. And so he was probably like, hot girl, me touch, lots of sweat, you know?
Yeah.
Even
and he just like
be like that. Yeah.
Yeah. And he's trying not to fall and he's like trying to concentrate and he's counting out loud and like it's just a whole hot mess. And she was a trooper about it, but they do fall eventually. And Subong and Angela, even though they were looking good, they don't make the second transition. So we're down to Talia and Sarah and Matt and Sophie. Which we don't even know who Matt and Sophie are really. Like some of these people have had they have had no packages. They have not introduced us to some of these people. And Matt and Sophie are 2 of them.
So
I know Sophie came in with the second group, but.
Yeah. And Sophie's really pretty and Matt's Baldy McGee. Okay. Got it. Matt with 1 T. So like a doormat.
Oh,
got it.
1 T. Got it. All righty. Well, anyway, they fall. So Talia and Sarah win. And this is Talia's second comp win and her third, like almost, because she almost won that second one. But Talia is so excited because she has one person that she cares about getting out, and she is ready to take the knife and stab Hannah like 3 times in the front.
Yeah, she wants to go cut up all her bikinis and send her packing.
Yes. So Talia and Sarah run immediately to the DR because everything's fast. I love it. And they have to figure it out together. And there is a little bit of debate. Of course, they automatically are like Hannah for sure. And then they were pretty set on Subong as well because he's just a challenge threat.
Yeah.
And then they really struggled with who their third was going to be. I was glad to see them be like, we can't do Kieran again.
Yeah, I mean, I probably in that situation, out of the 3 they were saying, they shouldn't have done Angela because Sarah's really friendly with Angela. That would be a bad move on Sarah's part because Angela actually really likes Sarah. But then they end up picking Marissa, and Marissa's really good friends with Sarah. So I feel like Talia took the lead on that one, and Sarah was just like, okay. Again, Sarah's 19. I know Talia's only 21, but she's still a teenager.
She's a babe
playing this game. So I think, she definitely got bullied into that. The safest bet would have been Kieran for sure because he'd already been up twice. Yeah, and I know that's a shitty strategy, but otherwise, pick another newer person. Like, why?
Right? Why wasn't it those 2 people that we don't know their names? Like, why?
Yes.
Not one of them just to be like, just you're new. Yeah. So Sarah obviously was like, I'm friends with this person. I'm friends with this. Like, she didn't have anyone else she could put up. And Talia just was like, well, then find Marissa. And Sarah, like, as they walk out to the den, to the awkward den of like, we're going to say noms now. And Marissa's like, hey, Sarah. And Sarah's just like, like internally, she's like, her face is like, like Sarah is so adorable. She's like falling apart. She can't handle this. And Marissa's like, it's okay. Until Marissa hears her name.
Marissa, the aerobics instructor in Marissa came out. She's the triplet. Did you see her package? And she's like, oh my God, amazing. But
amazing.
Marissa, I think Marissa, I was thinking like, why did she freak out so bad? I mean, but I think coming in as a 60-some-year-old, well, she's like 61. She's in like this amazing shape. She's just ultimate. I think there's part of Marissa, and this is just me speculating, that really thought she fit in with the young women and really feels in her soul she's still that age. So them targeting her, she felt like, oh, you betrayed me. And also it was like, I don't fit in. And there is this clique. And it hurt her personally. But the way she reacted was so ridiculous and bad for her game. I was like, Marissa, quiet. You're fine. Just be quiet. Please be quiet.
I get it. Hearing your name is rough. It's hard. You didn't expect it. You thought you were friends with these people. But she just couldn't stop herself. She's like an intense person, which I guess we could guess since she was an aerobics crazy person. But she's just like, what? And she's like, I'm not gonna scramble. Let me just say it all right here. Where's Sarah? And then she's just like guns, and then she like can't stop, and she's the Energizer Bunny, and she's like running all over their place, and they're like, oh my God, Marissa needs to calm it down. And I mean, it's obvious, like Sarah's breaking down, she's losing it. It's obvious that Sarah was not like 100% on this. Like, it's clear who might have been pushing things. And Talia doesn't let Sarah talk to Marissa by herself. When she hears that they're together, she like hightails it into that room, and she's like, it's a game. And
if I was Sarah before Talia got in there, I would have been like, here's the deal. She did it. You know how she is with that Baywatch swimsuit wanting attention. She's out for you because you're the OG Baywatch swimsuit. She doesn't like it.
But they just had to say, like, we want Hannah out and we know you won't go. Like, if someone had said that with conviction, like, look, Marissa, look, you're not going to go anywhere. We want Hannah out. Like, that's all they had to do. But they didn't really. They were just like, we just had to put someone up. Like, we know you're not going to go. Don't worry about it. It's not as reassuring. You know what I mean?
No, and that's not the time to do it when you still have like 80 other house guests you could put up. And especially Marissa's like looking at it like this is a direct reflection of your feelings towards me, because you also, 2 young women who I thought I was friends with, you also put up more women than men. Why would you do that?
Yeah.
You know, so
Right.
Marissa's thinking of it from like a mature 60-year-old woman perspective. So she's like, oh, you guys have been playing me this whole time then.
And that's really, I think, the big picture that comes out of this. I want to call it an HOH, but like out of this nominating control is that Marissa is seeing who's pulling strings and what is really going on. So this is actually good for some of the people in the house to kind of see that even though they're like, Kieran's playing the game too fast, too soon. It's like, meh. But some people are also playing the game and you guys are just like falling in line without realizing it.
Exactly.
Okay, so we have these nominees and where am I in my, oh, okay. But now we're really like seeing how scared Dan is of Subong. So like, even though Talia is like saying horrible things like, this is my house and that girl's got to get out of my house.
Right? This girl,
Okay.
this is like some next level spoiled girl stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know what is going on with her.
But like equally, you're seeing Dan kind of, he's not saying these horrible things, but like the looks in his eyes are like daggers at Subong. Like he is so terrified and threatened by this little old man, honestly, who is stronger than Dan. And Dan's just like, can't handle it.
Oh, once he tried to do that crawl thing that Subong was doing and he couldn't do it. He's like, but I'm a big football player. I can't do it. And Subong's just like going and Dan's like, I'm mad. I vote you out. Like he is so predictable. He and Talia are very predictable. They're just, they think they came in here with a sense of entitlement.
Yeah.
That is kind of getting hard to watch. So I'm ready for someone to put them in a different place.
Yeah. Put them in check. I mean, it's a lot ego. Like they just are so used to being top dog and so valued and important. And when someone else shows a skill set or looks or whatever it is, and you just get so intimidated by that, it's crazy. It was just crazy to see that the both of them were like bonkers about these two individuals. And I would have loved to have seen a conversation between Talia and Dan, because I don't fully understand how their relationship works. They're the king and queen, so we hear.
Well, Talia immediately was attracted to Dan, whether we knew like physically or not. She was like, the first episode, like, I don't think you like me. He's like, I actually like you more than anybody.
I like you most.
It's like, what? All right, Dan. And so after that, I feel like she's like, this is my dude. This is my man. We're going to have big brother babies. Maybe not outside the house, but in here, I own you, basically.
Yeah.
And so that's how I think it is. It's like Dan will go have a showmance with anyone else in a second. And Talia, anyone that gets close to Dan is going to feel the wrath of Talia.
Right. So, but because they work together and love each other, Tilly.
I know. She's just by the screen door going, come here, Tilly. Come here. Come sit in my lap. Come on. Oh
because they're working together and they love each other, I know that Talia was like, we got to get Hannah out. And I know that Dan was like, we got to get Subong out. So I just want to know, like, did Dan not try to convince Talia, or did he just drop it and say, no, we're going to get Subong out? And that was it.
Yeah, they're both right now. They're so selfish and probably so delusional that they think they'll just fall in line and do what I want, each of them.
Yeah.
And then neither of them did.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so we're in the room and Sonia is, getting people to talk, and Marissa does a pretty good job of sort of saying that things are cooking and there's some stuff people working and things that you don't even see. And she really makes Talia not look so great in this little group meeting. I don't know what we're supposed to call this, but this little eviction room.
That Marissa got over her original emotional reaction, now she's ready to play, because now she's going to show you some grown lady game. And so you're going to come at it with some petty young girl stuff. Well, she's going to show you some grown lady game.
Right.
Talia's not ready for this grown lady game.
No, she didn't know what that's about at all. And you see Angela sort of realizing, like, there's a mob. She's like, I don't want to live with this mob. And Kieran and her, like, kind of nodding along together. I think a lot of stuff was realized in this little group meeting. And Hannah is just like, I hope to get a second chance. And Sarah's like basically still crying. Ian votes for Marissa. I was like, Ian, what are you doing?
He doesn't know. He's thinking about rocks.
Yeah, he's just wearing his hat and being adorable. Daniel votes for Subong, obviously. Good old Dan. And then Xavier votes for Hannah. You guys, I didn't know who Xavier was until this moment, but I was like, wait, who's this guy? I loved his thought process. He was like, I hate to do this, and I'm going to lie to her about it, but I want to keep Subong in the house because he's got really cool, quirky energy. So I vote Hannah, and I was like, yeah, who are you? This is great.
Wow, someone who isn't intimidated by another strong person who's like, past that, like he's not like a basic dude, kind of like Dan is, you know, like Talia's a basic chick. So. Exactly.
So I was like, please show me more about Xavier. So we come out and Sonia tells us that the vote is Marissa, 2 votes, Hannah, 2 votes, and Subong gets 12.
Subong, you know, I hate to say it, but he kind of did it to himself. This isn't, you don't get there and start doing pinky pull-ups. You don't get there and be like, I've run 7 marathons. You got to play down your strengths in this situation. I can see in a Survivor situation where there was a lot of years where they would keep people up until like the merge or to win stuff, and then they would get rid of them, you know, like Pretty Hair Joe. That was the plight of his entire game. People would keep him to win things and food challenges. And then once, you know, came down to crunch time, they were like, bye, Joe. Thank you for getting us all the food and the wins, but you gotta go.
Yeah. So. Yeah. I know. I would have loved for Subong to have stayed, but why? Why did you show off everything you could do within the first couple of hours that you were in the house?
I know. And he had so much, like Shafika saying, he had so much potential. Like Sarah said too, like you said, such a good story. Background. Like I would have loved it, but the way when he said whatever, I know you quoted him, but when he was kind of like, I'm here to show them I will destroy them or whatever, like physically, I'm like, okay, I think you're in the wrong game for sure. You're in the wrong game.
Yeah, I hope that this like gives him Ninja Warrior or like some other show. Like I'm sure there's like an Australian Outback something. I don't know. Put him on that show because I want him to like flourish and show everyone how amazing he is.
Well, if he lives in a van and he's that strong and stuff, he should definitely do like Australian Survivor.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. Put him on Australian Survivor, please. Yes. I want so much for him. Yes, Minzy Poss Worldwide. Sorry, I'm just saying words. The Marissa and Hannah talk in the green room was great. And Talia realizes and she just walks in and doesn't have anything to say.
She's twisting like what was she have, a popsicle in her
They're like icy pops. And they all just stand there in awkward silence.
This is the moment that like Hannah and Marissa and Kieran, like all these people, Angela, get together and now that you know what's happening, run this so that you can start pushing back on this kind of popular kid alliance that's forming. Because Talia, like I said, she is not ready for this grown lady business. She will not know what to do with it. She will lose it. And you want to now get in Talia's head because she has proven to be a good competitor. You do not want her winning stuff.
No, that's the downside is that she will win stuff. She's already won 2 and almost the 3rd one. She, I feel like they have realized a lot. And I feel like next week, it's 3 shows. Next week's shows will have more of the house dividing and going after each other. And I think it is important that you probably need to split up Talia and Dan, whichever one you go for. You know, if Talia, I mean, she's winning, so take her out first. But they just need to be split up.
Than Dan. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
definitely.
Dan just all he sees are guys who can do more push-ups than him. Like I don't know what he's doing.
And butt cheeks.
I thought he said he had a relationship or something, or maybe I made that up. Did he say he was single?
That doesn't matter in reality TV.
Well, okay, I'm sorry.
You know how it is, Sarah. We've been watching these games a long time. Have a relationship.
I'm like he's in a relationship, Jolene. What are you talking about?
Oh, you Pleasantville, Sarah. That That means nothing to these people.
Never has anyone cheated on TV. What are you talking about?
No way. Gross.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So overall, I'm obsessed with the show.
Yes.
I don't like the word obsessed, but I really like this show. It's very good. I like the editing. I like the production value. I'm in it.
Yes, I totally agree. The production value is amazing. I like that it's got a bit of snark. I think the cast is pretty great so far, as well as personalities and age, diversity.
Yes.
Could they have more diversity? Sure. I'm looking at the cast here. I mean, I don't know the makeup of Australia. I only know about US. We always could use more diversity, but I do like that there are a lot of people in their 30s and like late 30s. We had some 40s, some 50.
I remember reading that more than half of the cast is over 30.
That's so amazing.
Which is fantastic.
You have Marissa, who's like 61, and then you have Sarah, who's 19. Like, literally, she could be her grandma. And they could easily team up two powerful, like the younger version and I don't want to say older, because like 61 isn't even old. But it's so great to see that kind of like age representation, because we just don't see that in the US and in our reality shows ever.
No. Yeah. And I don't know, maybe Australians are just like cool and fit and awesome, which I'm sure they are. But like these older people, these people over 30 are amazing. Like there's no reason they wouldn't be cast. Like America, get with it. Why is this so hard?
Yeah, I think American BB should just start taking notes. You know, don't assume that we're the best.
I hope they're watching this season.
Right? I wasn't sure if I was going to like pre-recorded and all that, but I like it. I'm here for it. Like I said, I
appreciate editing. I really do. Like pre-record and give me like a fully put together show with, you know, throwing shade packages and BB messing with poor Angela who can't get any tea. Oh my God. And the segment when she finally gets her tea and she's like literally making orgasmic sounds. Yeah. She's like
I can totally relate to that. Having like no caffeine. I would freak out.
That's cruel.
I would have a baby right there. Like it was great. I just hope Angela and Garth and now Marissa and Hannah make it really far.
Yeah. Definitely rooting for Garth. Hope people pull in Kieran and stop making him feel like an outsider. I just don't like that. So, you know.
Him and Ian should get together. Like, why do the outcasts always want to get in with the popular kids? Screw the popular kids. Make that outcast alliance that we love to watch. That's what I would do.
Yeah, for sure. And like, it looks like Angela's really digging Kieran. So she can protect him maybe because she can run some stuff.
Hannah and Kieran were really getting along, which was kind of upsetting Talia. So Hannah, grab Kieran, you two make a final two and just take off with that. And then have your sub alliances. Like,
because you have Marissa and Angela on board. You might be able to pull over Sarah now that she's like, I don't know what Talia's doing, you know?
You'll definitely. Sarah seems like she's only 19, but she really seems to have a good head on her shoulder. And she comes like her background. I think she's like military and all this stuff. So it seems like she has a really good heart. And I think she has now seen how Talia plays, and that's not the type of woman she wants to be or player.
Right. Ian's apparently a party boy. Well, that catches me off guard. I don't know about that.
There's been news this week of him partying and close with his friends. Well, you know what? Maybe he got off the show and it was like he got his groove and he figured it out. And now he's like,
I got me some fame. What's up? Let's go.
Maybe he wanted to show his rocks a good time. You know, he took his.
He's the one I think. He's the one that was like, I grew up by myself, like in the wilderness. Like I think he was just not around people. So maybe like now that he's around people, he's like, I love this. Let's go.
Or we do know, too, how these reality show packages work. Remember last season it was like, I'm Holly Beth and I'm from Wyoming and I ride cows, not cows. What do you ride? Horses. I ride horses. And hook up with cows. And it was just like, she was the opposite of that. She was like so mean and horrible, but they wanted to make
been in
her,
Wyoming in like 10 years. Yeah.
But they wanted to make her this ranch girl, when really she's in LA. She's got a tiny dog. She, you know, she works at a wine safari.
I work on a wine safari. I was like in Malibu, the most prestigious, expensive town in the world.
But they love to think, we got a down home gal on a ranch. And it's like, Holly Beth is just a wannabe actress who was with a Bachelor guy before this. She is a thirst trap. Like, no, she's not down home.
We ain't buying it. We ain't buying it. Okay, Joleen, thank you so much. I'm so excited that we're talking BB Australia. Thank you guys for sticking with us in the chat. I mean, Seth is not even watching this show, and he stood here the whole time. Thank you so much, you guys. Thank you for the super chats. And actually this weekend, oh shoot, it doesn't go live. Never mind. Well, I was going to say Joleen and Chell are doing Sight Unseen with us this weekend, but we air them a week late. So that will actually be next weekend.
We're really excited though. It's going to be so fun. And I'll be back on Thursdays with you to talk BB Australia. Right?
Yes, absolutely.
Did I just invite myself back?
No, you're coming back. You're being forced back. There's a spider. He's very little and not scary, but he's trying to spin a web down my computer. So I was slightly distracted. I'm so sorry, guys.
Oh, that's okay. I was like,
what's he doing? I don't mind spiders though. But yes, please be back every Thursday. And also this Saturday, we have our regular podcast called Good Pop, if you guys are not aware. But Joleen and I do an entertainment and good news podcast on Saturdays.
And we love it. And we'll be here this Saturday at 3:30 Pacific.
That's right. Yes, over on JoleenLunzer.
We just go back and forth. We're just like, your channel, my channel, your channel, my channel.
That's right. Share the love. Share the love.
Yeah.
All right, you guys have a wonderful evening, and we will see you next time.
Bye. Thanks, guys.
Bye.